You are born in a water droplet, not a river, not an ocean, a single drop clinging to moss. The first thing you notice is how small you are. And by small, I mean basically invisible. Those giant green towers around you, that is moss. Regular moss. You are smaller than the period at the end of this sentence. Welcome to life as a tardigrade. You've probably heard you are basically indestructible. Spoiler, that is not as cool as it sounds. Sure, you can survive the vacuum of space, but right now you are just trying not to fall off some wet moss. Your 8 legs don't exactly work together yet. It is less graceful walking, more controlled falling. Everything in your world is either wet or about to crush you. Usually both. A single raindrop hitting nearby. That is basically a tsunami for you. You spend the first few hours just learning which way is up. Honestly, kind of pathetic. Now you need to eat. Your diet? Plant cells. Algae, the occasional rotifer if you are feeling fancy. You have a mouth like a tiny straw. You stab things and suck out their insides. It is not pretty, but it works. The microscopic world is crowded. Bacteria everywhere. Amoeba sliding past. None of them care that you exist. To most things down here, you are either food or furniture. You are not at the top of any food chain. You are barely on the food chain. Speaking of which, nematodes. These worms think you are a snack, and they're everywhere. Your survival strategy? Hold very still and hope they're not hungry. It is not exactly a power move, but you are alive. So whatever works. The thing about being microscopically small is that danger is literally everywhere. Fungal spores, giant boulders, pollen grains, massive obstacles, a human fingertip, extinction-level event. Not that any human would ever notice you. You are literally invisible to them. Think about that. You are alive, you have feelings, and absolutely no one will ever see you. But hey, at least you are tough, right? Let's talk about your famous superpowers. When things get bad, really bad, your body does something weird. You dry yourself out, lose 97% of your water, basically become a raisin. This is called a ton state. Scientists think it is amazing. But here is what they don't tell you. You are not alive in there. Not really. You are not experiencing anything. You are just pause. Years can pass, decades even, and you are not enjoying any of it. Then one day, water comes back, and just like that, you inflate again. It takes a few hours. Your legs uncurl, your body fills out. You are you again, except you have no idea how long you were out. Could be a week, could be 30 years. Everyone you knew, gone. Your food sources, different. Your spot on the moss, claimed by someone else. Congratulations on surviving. Now figure out your life all over again. By this point, you are technically a juvenile. You've molted a few times, gotten a bit bigger, and by bigger, I mean still completely invisible. You've maybe doubled in size to 0.5 millimeter. Your life settles into a routine. Crawl, eat, avoid predators. Try not to dry out. Repeat. It is not exciting, but that is life at the bottom of the food chain. Sometimes you try hunting. You spot a rotifer smaller than you. Finally, something you can eat. You lunge. You miss. The rotifer's already on the other side of the water droplet. Your hunting skills are honestly kind of terrible. Good thing, plants can't run. Back to stabbing algae. At least they hold still. Sometimes you encounter others of your kind. It is awkward. Tardigrades aren't exactly social. You stare at each other, maybe wave a leg, then just keep walking. That is about as deep as tardigrade relationships get. Most of your existence is solitude. Just you and the endless green maze of moss. The scenery never changes. Moss, water, more moss, occasional fungus for variety. You start to wonder what the point is. You can survive anything, but for what? Time passes. You are an adult now. As adult as a water bear gets anyway. You are maybe 1 millimeter long on a good day. A giant by tardigrade standards. still invisible to everything else. You found your territory, a nice patch of moss, plenty of algae, minimal nematode traffic. Life's not exciting, but it is yours. You eat, you crawl, you survive. That is the tardigrade way. Your entire world is about 3 square millimeters, and you know every molecule of it. Then one day, someone new shows up. Another tardigrade. This one's different though. It is mating season, if you can call it that. Tardigrade romance is functional. You circle each other, maybe touch legs briefly. She molts and leaves eggs in her old shell. You fertilize them. Very intimate stuff. And that is it. No cuddling. No co-parenting. She leaves. You leave. The eggs are on their own. Just like when you hatched. The cycle continues. Nobody said it was heartwarming. You go back to your routine. Eating, crawling, surviving things that would kill anything else. One day, something toxic seeps into your moss. Chemicals that would dissolve most creatures. You walk right through it. Don't even feel a tingle. Your body just handles it. Everything else in the area dies, rotifers, bacteria, even the nematodes. Just you, walking through corpses. It is your superpower in action. And it feels absolutely terrible. What is the point of being indestructible if everyone around you isn't? You move on. Find new moss. New neighbors who don't know you are basically a survivor of everything. Winter comes. Temperatures drop. Water freezes. You barely notice. Your body just handles it. Proteins in your cells prevent ice crystals from forming. Science stuff. Everything around you dies or goes dormant. You are still crawling, still eating frozen algae. It is impressive, technically, but also incredibly lonely. What is the point of surviving everything if there is nothing left to survive for? Spring eventually returns. The ice melts. Life comes back. You are still here. New tardigrades hatch. New rotifers zoom around. New nematodes to avoid. The whole ecosystem regenerates, and you are the same old tardigrade who made it through. Nobody's impressed. Nobody even noticed you survived. They just bump past you like always. Decades of this, surviving impossible things that no one sees or cares about. You've earned some peace. You find a quieter patch of moss, fewer neighbors, better algae. Life as a tardigrade celebrity. If only anyone knew you existed. Time passes differently when you are microscopic. Days blend into weeks, into months. You are getting older. Tardigrades don't live that long under normal conditions. Maybe 2 years if you are lucky. The climbs get harder. The food gets harder to find. Your 8 legs don't coordinate like they used to. Younger tardigrades pass you like you are standing still. Which, sometimes, you kind of are. You rest more often, eat less. The world keeps spinning at its microscopic pace. The thing about being indestructible is that nothing kills you, but time still passes. Your territory feels bigger, not because it grew, but because you shrank into yourself. You still survive things. A drought here, a cold snap there. Your body does what it always did. Each time you come back from a ton state, it takes a little longer, hurts a little more. Your cells remember. They always remember, but they're tired of remembering. One day, you find a nice spot, soft moss, good moisture, gentle light filtering through. You stop walking. For the first time in your life, you are not going anywhere. You've crawled through moss forests, survived radiation, outlasted ice ages, endured the void of space, and nobody will ever know. You are too small to leave a fossil, too tiny for a grave. You just stop, and the water droplet keeps existing, and the moss keeps growing. Somewhere nearby, an egg hatches. Another tardigrade takes its first wobbly steps. It has no idea what is coming, the loneliness, the survival, the pointless immortality. It'll learn. They always do. The cycle continues. It always does. You were born invisible. You died invisible. But for one tiny, pointless, incredible life, You were indestructible, and honestly, that has got to count for something.